So, 5 things about the Booker long listed book titled Wild Houses by Colin Barrett. Number 1, this book does not know what it is. Number 2, if this were to be adapted into a film, think of it as being directed by Wes Anderson and not Christopher Nolan. Number 3, it explores the bizarre becoming banal and humor turning into horror. Number 4, there is extremely well done dialogue. And number 5, this book is misrepresented on so many different levels. Hi, my name is Kim, and welcome back to my channel. If I am new to you, I am a lover of literary fiction. And if you can't tell by the name of my channel, I am a huge fan of the Booker Prize. I also follow the International Booker, the Women's Prize, and Canada Reads. So let's get talking about wild horses. So a little bit about Colin Barrett. He is an Irish-Canadian writer. However, he did leave Canada at the age of 4. And Canada has a very quirky idea of who is Canadians and who isn't. So Canada has claimed Colin Barrett as an Irish-Canadian writer. However, I believe that he's being coined as an Irish writer. He has written 1 novella as well as 2 short story collections. One story called Calm with Horses was adapted into a film with the same title, and this is a debut novel. So let's get talking about the novel. So in terms of the plot and structure of Wild Houses, this takes place over 3 days. The plot goes to a crisis point, and then there is flashbacks on the different characters, which really helps to build up characterization. Now, I had this book in my hands, and I think this is why it's so widely criticized and that people are really not enjoying this book. But it's misrepresented in terms of the inside flap. The blurb is very confusing, and I don't think represents what this novel is trying to do. Although this novel, it doesn't know what it wants to be in the end. However, one of the things that I really struggled with this novel was figuring out who the main characters are. So for you, and I don't think this is a spoiler, the 2 main characters are Dev and Nikki. And I think if you go at it from that perspective and realize that everybody else is secondary, what this book is trying to do becomes a little bit clearer. So this is really the story of Dev and Nikki. It is the story of their life at the moment, their grief and losses of the past, and how they're trying to move through this loss. This is not a thriller about a drug deal gone bad. This is a very introspective look at these 2 characters and how they are dealing with the tragic things that have happened to them and the people around them. Now, in terms of sense of place and atmosphere and setting, it is definitely an atmosphere of gloom. It is very dark. There is very little sun in those 3 days, both metaphorically and practically. And the dialogue is done so well. It really does resonate with Irish speech and Irish slang, which really gives you an amazing sense of place. Now, in terms of characterization, I think that Dev and Nikki are very vivid characters, and the secondary characters are very interesting as well. There are touches of humor which borders on absurd and comical. And I think that's where the criticism is coming from surrounding this book, is that when things can go from humor to horror so quickly, it can almost seem too over the top and too ridiculous. But if you look at it from the point of view that everything is there for a reason, I really felt that it was well done. Now, there are moments of extreme violence and anger, and there are some incredible scenes that are just breathtaking and done so well. The quality of writing is very, very good. You can tell that Colin Barrett is an excellent short story writer. I know I've never read his short stories, but his writing is concise. It's very well edited, and almost every little section can seem like its own short story in itself. So look at it from the point that everything is there for a reason. Now, in terms of themes, it explores chaos and violence, grief and loss, betrayal, hopelessness, and hope. Now, the title I think is really, really well done. Almost every scene in this book takes place in a wild house, or a wild place that has a roof over it. The only scenes that don't have a roof over the head or take place in a wild house is the last scene, which I won't give away, but is amazing. And there's the scene with the goat. Now, in terms of the cover, I think that this is an awful cover. Again, this is another case of this book being misrepresented. There is only 2 scenes with the goat, one very, very short scene that is, I can't even figure out why it's there. And then another big scene, which I think was supposed to be more impactful in terms of Dev's internal state of mind when he encounters this disgruntled goat, but it was really lost on me. So, a cover's not everything with a book, but I think that this could have been done better. The inside blurb could have been done better. The cover could have been done better. This could have been marketed in a better way. And I think that's why it's getting all the criticism that it is. So our next book, I will be reviewing Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle. And on just a little family note, in the past couple of weeks, we have adopted a little white bundle of cuteness. His name is Sami. He is 4 weeks old, and he's an American short-haired tabby with, they call them flame point ears and tails. Anyways, we are all getting to know each other, and it has been absolutely wonderful time. So thank you so much for joining me and spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the description box below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you for my next video. Bye. Ripley from Tripoli. Let's look at the Longlist.